Welcome to the Tennis Warehouse racket review of the Prince Ripcord 98 XS. The Prince Ripcord 98 XS is designed for extra spin and features a 98 square inch head size for added precision. This racket features a newly updated anti-torque system which combines Techstream and Xylon in strategic locations to enhance the stability and creates even more energy return into your shots. To help generate heavy topspin, this racket features a 16x18 string pattern for increased grip on the ball and has a more open cross-section on the sides of the hoop for that low to high brushing action. The weight comes in at 11.4 ounces strung with a 7 points headlight balance, a swing weight that averages in the mid 320s, and a stiffness rating of 67. Lastly, the CTS tapered beam is 25 millimeters at the tip and 21 millimeters in the yoke, providing easy power without sacrificing the feel. I was really excited to try out this 98 square inch edition to the Prince rackets. I've hit with the Prince Ripcord 100 and I really like that one. I'm also a big fan of the Prince Tour 98. So I was hoping this would be a perfect merge of those two. And what I found was definitely a racket that packs a lot of power and a lot of spin for a 98 head size. I definitely could feel the ball jumping off the racket. Easy launch angle. I would say it packed more spin and a higher launch angle than say like an E-Zone 98, but I didn't feel like it was too out of control sometimes like I found with maybe this current iteration of the new V-Core 98, which was really launching the ball. So there was a nice balance off the string bed there. And I would say for a 16-18 pattern, it played more like a 16-19 for me. So that kind of predictable spin. I could notice the stiffness in this racket has a nice firm pop on the ball. So when I was hitting my ground strokes and my serves, I was getting felt like I was getting a lot of pace on the ball, could really hit through the court. I didn't think it was overly stiff or jarring. I felt like there was pretty good dampening within the frame for the stiffness that it had. And for the weight of this racket, I felt like it had a good balance of stability on contact, whether I was hitting my volleys or hitting those slices. The racket felt nice and stable, but it also was pretty maneuverable. The swing weight wasn't too high. For me, I typically play with a heavier frame, so yes, I could add some weight to this, but I thought it played fine in stock form. I really felt like this is a nice offering from Prince, kind of giving you that easy power, easy spin, didn't feel too stiff, and I still felt like I could control the ball, so just a really fun racket for me to play with. Maybe not the control and feel type of frames that I usually go for, but something that I thought was nice to mix it up if I wanted a little more help from the racket.
I'm a big fan of Prince rackets. In particular, the ATS 98 has been one of my go-tos for a while now, and I really also enjoyed the Ripcord 100 from earlier this year. So I was really curious to see how that sort of applied to this smaller head size here. And I do think this is a really interesting frame. First off, what I had noticed was the geometry from the tip to the handle. It starts out at 25 millimeters and then gradually gets a little bit thinner, becoming 21 millimeters in the throat. And I like that feeling a lot. It gives a lot of really good heft and plow through the ball towards the end of your motion, but at the same time, you're getting a more traditional feeling throat section. So a really good feel for me personally. And this was a racket that I honestly had a great time with. Really nice cupping sensation. Really liked how it pocketed the ball. It was a little bit more unusual. Kind of reminded me actually of like a V-Core 98 7th generation. It plays for me a little bit softer than the 67 RA might indicate. But for what I was looking for in this racket, it actually excelled. Just really enjoyed it on my ground strokes, just really comfortable to hit with. Great spin. I was actually getting higher spin numbers than I was anticipating per our Zenith data. And then I loved it from the rest of the court as well. Great on serves, really excellent up fit and net as far as feel went, and just an all-around really solid, reliable racket. This is something that I would definitely recommend trying if you like 98s, but you're maybe looking for a little bit more spin, maybe something in the realm of like an E-Zone 98 or an FX 500 Tour from Dunlop. Overall, just a great addition to the line from Prince.
Overall, Prince's new 98 Ripcord XS was an excellent racket play test for me, good fit for my game, and as a result, this is probably among a lot of Prince frames that I enjoy, this is gonna be my favorite Prince frame to date. Racket weights in the middle 11-ounce range seem to complement my game the best these days, but what really stood out to me is this racket's impressive level of comfort, stability, and manageable power from any part of the court. Now, in terms of power, compared to a racket like the ATS Tour 98, I would say the Ripcord XS is a little more power-oriented, but with, in my opinion, not with a really much of a noticeable decline in control. My rally tolerance and shot depth was very good, and when it came time to end a point, I can guarantee that this racket has plenty of put-away power. And as much as I gravitate towards tight patterns these days, I had zero issue with this racket's 16-18 string spacing, as it was just wide enough for me to generate easy topspin, good safe net clearance, yet tight enough for it to make my backhand slice one of my favorite shots to hit with this new addition to the Prince Racquet family. Anyone who really enjoys that 98-305 frame formula like I do is gonna wanna definitely give this one a try.
Growing up, one of my first rackets ever was a Prince one, so this playtest really hit a special spot for me, and I actually really enjoyed this Ripcord 98 XS. On the baseline, it felt amazing. Honestly, I was surprised by the great feel I was getting from the frame. It wasn't really too muted, but just enough to have nice feedback from the frame. I never thought I had too much vibration, and I really enjoyed that nice pocketing sensation I was getting from this racket. Honestly, even with shots that I hit just a bit off center, I still didn't really feel much vibration, so that was a great plus for me. I also felt like I was getting a nice amount of power, but it was never really that uncontrollable power. It was just the right amount. I also loved having easy access to spin. This racket gave me just enough that I felt like I was not really overhitting because of the extra spin I was getting, but it gave me a nice amount of support when it comes to that extra pop I like to get on my shots. I'm definitely a player that enjoys that extra spin and playing with a lot of spin, so this racket gave me just that, a controllable, fun spin. The racket felt super stable. It was honestly one of the highlights of the playtest for me, just how stable this racket felt, even playing against heavier hitters. I really could trust this racket that it would not get pushed around, and it really allowed me to trust the frame and take control of the rallies early on and play my aggressive playing style. The only aspect of this racket I had to get used to was that unfortunately it wasn't as maneuverable as I would have liked. Each time I picked this racket up, it took me about 5 to 10 minutes of play time to kind of get dialed in with timing, because I felt like the racket head was just lagging just a little bit and it wasn't as fast as I would have liked. Honestly, at one point, I started wondering if it's an extended racket. I had to double check because it kind of played like an extended racket, which, some people do love that aspect of a racket, and it also has great advantages. And as soon as, I figured this out and adjusted to the racket a bit more, I got my timing right, and actually it's really helped me create that pace on the ball and stability that I really enjoy. All in all, this racket truly impressed me a lot, and honestly, I think this will be a great all-around option for someone looking for something different, but in the best way possible.
For this review, we tried a variety of different Prince strings for today. We have the Prince Vortex as well as the Prince Tour XP, both strung at 52 pounds. For more information on this racket or anything tennis related, be sure to head to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.